Steve and Alan's pro tips in a short time. Learn a lot.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Alan.
Well, it looks like so far this summer, our quick pro tip episodes have been especially popular.
Yeah, both our listener feedback and the statistics indicate that you listeners want more of those, at least for the time being. So I was thinking maybe we could do some short summer book club episodes. What do you think of that, Alan?
Um, Not if it means I have to read a bunch of books. Do I have to read a bunch of books? Because I don't have the time for that.
That's a good point. How about summer selected short reading episodes where we maybe find some short articles or blog posts we think listeners might like?
Yeah. Okay, let's go with that. What should we do first?
Well, I've always appreciated when you introduce me to smart leaders and good thinkers outside the fields of music and education. I think that sometimes we get so hung up on music specific things that it can be difficult to see the forest for the trees, so to speak.
Actually, isn't it see the forest through the trees?
Well, that's what I always thought. And then I discovered this week that original quotation is actually from a 16th century English writer who is basically saying, we sometimes cannot see the forest or big picture, for the trees, little problems, are in the way.
Okay, got it. So you want to share that and also like show off.
Yeah, basically.
Well, listeners, hope this has been helpful. Thanks very much for tuning into this. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Okay. We're doing the short reading thing. Which of my suggested leaders or thinkers would our listeners appreciate hearing about first, do you think?
This is no brainer for me. James Clear.
Yeah. James Clear is one of those authors that I discovered just in my line of work doing leadership training, especially in the corporate world. They're just authors and books that show up for people. And then they say, hey, have you read Atomic Habits by James Clear? And by the time I get to the second or third time that someone's asked me that, I decide, okay, I better make sure that I'm reading what other people are reading. So I read it and I thought, hey, this is pretty good. He's just a thought leader in the area of personal organization, habit setting, getting incrementally better in ways that are helpful, but not intimidating. I dig him.
Yeah, and a few years ago, you introduced me to his 3-2-1 weekly newsletter, which I have found to be a great regular reminder, not only to focus on the right stuff, but also, and I think perhaps more importantly to Clear, to eliminate the stuff that doesn't matter or is harmful in some way.
Yes, it's a free email. It's got 3 of his short ideas, 2 short quotes from others, and 1 question to ponder. They are not full of advertising. Signing up for this email didn't land me on any spam list. It's really well done and helpful and easy. Do you have one that you've particularly liked recently, Steve?
I mean it when I say I like all of them every week. Each time there is at least one item that Clear shares that's a new way for me to think about something or a good reminder that helps me refocus. And I also like that he sends them on Thursdays instead of on Mondays. So here's a sampling from last week. One of his 3 ideas from me was there are at least 4 types of wealth: financial, social, time, and physical. Be wary of jobs that lure you in with money and or status, but then rob you of your freedom and health.
Yeah, I'm not sure that music teachers are going to be in that situation, having been lured in with money and status. But it is true that we have people in our profession who think that they need to get into a position that brings them a little bit more social and professional status among their colleagues. And we have seen them become a little busy, a little stressed, and unwell. And maybe you and I fell into that from time to time in our career.
Totally agree. Then, from his 2 quotes from others, he shared web designer David Leggett's thoughts on how to handle criticism. Leggett said, be friendly to those who enjoy your work and friendlier to those who attack it.
Yes. And that's probably an especially good reminder whenever we get some sort of feedback at a festival or contest, or even from that parent or a demanding administrator. Those aren't the easiest things to hear, but they sometimes offer the best ways for us to grow if we stay open to them. And sometimes people complain that there's like politics in judging or in schools or whatever. let's say for the sake of argument that that's true, staying friendlier to those who attack your work is a very smart political move.
Exactly what I was thinking. And finally, James Clear's one question for you was, how should you measure your days? It's easy to measure your days in dollars earned or tasks completed, but there are other units of measurement to consider. What would you do today if you wanted to maximize laughter? What would you do today if you wanted to maximize time outside, maximize peace of mind? What unit of measurement serves you best right now?
Yeah. And I love how he's not saying you should spend every day trying to maximize laughter or every day you should maximize peace of mind. Rather, it's a reminder that certain days you might need certain things, and there are more ways to measure your day than the number of things you crossed off your list.
Agreed. And I think a lot of self-help and leadership advice focuses on stuff we should be actively doing, which can be great, but then we eventually reach a point where we are trying to do simply too much stuff. So for me, Clear has been very helpful with weekly reminders of things that I need to be cutting because they might be inefficient, aren't really helping me with my larger goals, or are making me unhappy or unwell.
Yeah, that's why I tend to gravitate toward his 3 quick bits from his own mind, because they're usually not just original thoughts of his, they're his original thinking combined with what he's gleaned from others and just sort of distilled into something that's really helpful to me so that I can also like clarify what I do. I feel like those first 3 hits from him give me that.
Yeah, those are probably my favorite parts as well. So again, this is the weekly 3-2-1 newsletter from James Clear. A Google search for James Clear will get you there quickly. The 3-2-1 Thursday newsletter is likely going to be your first hit.
Yeah, and please let us know what you are reading this summer, listeners, especially if it's short or I've already read it, so it won't take too much time away from my own relaxing and recharging.
Good idea. Thanks, Alan.
Take it easy, Steve.
Steve and Alan's Pro Tips in a short time. Learn all.